Agenda related public comment period.
Are you speaking? Okay, this is yeah. I'm going to talk about the budget. So that's on the agenda for tonight. Okay. I'm Millie Smith.
Well, we are experiencing some rain showers as we head throughout today. Not yet.
I have
and
several concerns regarding the budget.
Possible thunderstorms.
The first being that when the agenda was first posted on Friday, there was no budget attached to it. So at that point, you can't ask a board, in my personal opinion, you can't ask a board to vote on a $92 million budget and not have a budget attached to it. To my surprise, on Monday afternoon or late morning, the budget was attached and I was able to review it. Today is, and I know due to public meeting laws, you only have to publish it 24 hours. But here's where my concern lies. Yes, the budget was published and I spent several hours deciphering it because for one simple reason, I still have not, for the last 18 months, I have not received a satisfactory response in terms of where did all our COVID dollars go. I had a meeting with Mr. Ketrick and Josh back in October, and back in October of 2022, I was told that there was still $14 million hanging out there that had not been appropriated. I'm not a finance person. I don't claim to be a finance person, but reading budget laws and with school boards and small district communities, some of these things have to be in plain language so that I can understand, or anybody can understand for that matter. And some of these things on here are a little difficult to understand. So after I was able to review the budget, I'm actually taken very back that our budget last year was 82 million. And this year the budget's 92 million. You can add all the numbers, but there's no clear-cut explanation to community people like me, like a lay person, as to why our school budget's going up $10 million. Number one, just under $10 million. Number one. Number two, our tax levy is 3.5%. Now I sat here and I listened to the presentation about the tax levy, and the language that was used during that presentation was that we should not be leaving money on the table. And that jargon to me is very disturbing because there's still no explanation as to why we're increasing our tax levy to 3.5% when historically we've tried to maintain it under 2. Last year was 0.61, but worse than that, you're asking taxpayers to pay more taxes for the school budget, towards the school budget. You're increasing our budget by $10 million. And my question as a community interested party is, what are we getting for that? What have we seen in terms of instructional improvements, COVID recovery with the aftermath of we know all of our graduation rate is down, our math scores are down, our English scores are down. What are we doing? Where is this money? Where is it tangibly seen? Back in 2021, there was a capital campaign improvement that vote for $13 million capital improvement projects. I don't know what the status of that is, but I read the report back then and it was supposed to be improvements to Wiley, Case, and Watertown. I haven't seen anything. I don't know where we're at with that. There's no communication about that. We have positions at the high school and at the middle school that haven't been filled as of yet. I have a list. We need an art teacher at the middle school, a music teacher, a tech teacher, homes career teacher, and a health teacher. At the high school, we need social studies, math, English, science. Social studies, math, those are your core subjects. Business department, and art teacher and technology teacher. You look at the budget and the salaries, okay, allotment on the budget, has gone up. $3 million, $3.8 million. We're going from last year's budget to this budget. You know, you may have all the answers to this, but that is the reason I'm standing here, because I don't know where all this money is going. And if we still have this many teachers and these many positions available, where is this money going? Our employee benefits is increasing by $1 million. Why? These are the things that need to be discussed with the community. I understand that there's going to be a hearing done probably a week before we all have to vote. The community has to vote for the budget. But I've been coming to these meetings, and everyone knows that. Every single time there's a meeting, I think I've missed two. I have not heard any budget discussions. I have not, and I could be wrong. Again, I might be misinformed, but I haven't heard any board member talk about budget sessions or scrutinizing the budget or going through this. I mean, the transportation is going up $500,000. Is our services increasing? Are we getting more for $500,000? I don't really understand that. It's very worrisome to me that you're asking taxpayers to pay more of a tax levy, participate, give more on top of all the increased state aid that we've received. We've just been allotted another $8.5 million. I have no idea where that money's going. We got, Mrs. Converse asked at the last meeting, we just won the lawsuit for the Jewel lawsuit, $62,000. I understand only 50% of it is coming, but I don't see that money delineated anywhere. And then when you look at the budget, you're talking about appropriated fund balance. That means that's what we're going to plan to spend. I looked at all the reserve accounts. I have no idea where this money's going. The $13 million, $14 million that were left in October, no idea where it is. Yet, you know, and this might be a small little thing, but we have all this money that we're asking community people. And I'm going to speak for the athletic parents and people involved in athletic, but yet we have no streaming. Our varsity teams do not have streaming. So during COVID, on a whim, everything was streamed. These kids are playing varsity sports and no streaming, which is very important for kids to learn, go back into their sports and look at what's going on. It's good for training purposes, but there's all, and I've talked to several people about this, and there's all this hoopla about someone was going to pay, the board approved, someone said no, we have to go through BOCES, we have to do this, we have to. Yet the varsity season has started and we have all this money, but we can't even stream something that potentially costs about $12,000 a year. I mean, this is very disheartening to me. I really would like to ask the board, if I saw, I don't know if you guys got the budget earlier than I did. I hope you did. But I would really request that the board take a really hard look at these numbers. This is not easy. This is something that needs to be done in sessions. You know, I know my husband on the city council holds budget sessions. They're very timely. They're time consuming, but it's very important to try to figure out where all these numbers are going. I don't think that you are doing your due diligence to our community taxpayers when we're supposed to, the board's supposed to be the stewards of our taxpayer dollars, that you're just going to blindly accept a tax levy of 3.4 when you've got nothing to show for it. And I don't mean to offend anybody, but to say you're leaving money on the table is a little offensive. Like, what are you leaving money on the table for? There's no reason. The only thing that you presented that you're going to bond for is a $1.4 million turf. That's it. The other capital improvement for $13.1 million, I don't know what the status of that is. You're putting a turf. Our athletic fields are a disaster. I don't understand if we're going to bond for something. My understanding, and I don't want to say wrong numbers because I know this, then, you know, people start saying the wrong things, but I've been told that our fund balance, our reserve, our savings account, that's what fund balance is very healthy. So if our fund balance is really healthy, does it really make financial sense to bond for $1.4 million? Is that really a good thing to do? And in addition to that, we're only going to do the turf field when everything surrounding it is just a disaster. I mean, we've been talking about this for years and we haven't really seen any product. We really have no end vision here. We haven't seen anything that's been done. So what I'm asking the board to do is to please reconsider tonight. You should not approve this proposed budget. You should really scrutinize these numbers and you should really look at what we're doing and what you're asking your taxpayers to contribute. There's a lot of information here and I can't believe that the board has really taken the time to decipher out these numbers instead of just taking what's, the finances said, okay, let's do this. And you guys are just going to be like, okay, it's not good. It's not good. And I'm asking that you guys really reconsider this. Thank you.
John, I is on 237.